This is the first time the Verreal has released a board that is dual belt motor, and I have to say, for a first shot, this is pretty good. So this board that I'm riding on is the Verreal RS. The deck is made from bamboo and Canadian maple, similar to the onboard bamboo, and is 36 inches in length. The deck is pretty stiff with very little flex and has a slight W concave. The trucks that come with it are double kingpin trucks that are forged aluminum. The stock bushings I found were pretty soft, so I decided to switch them to the riptide bushings to give you more stability at high speeds. The drivetrain consists of dual 6368 170 kV motors with a total of 3000 watts. This is similar to the onboard bamboo, but much bigger and more powerful than Evolve's GTR line. The belts that come with it are 15mm wide with a 5mm pitch to reduce belt slipping whenever you're braking or accelerating hard. The stock wheels that came with the Verreal RS are 90mm 78A wheels. Those wheels I found were pretty soft and wide enough if you plan on riding smooth roads. However, in my area, there are a lot of cracks and small pebbles in the road, so I chose to put on bigger wheels. Drive belts have a big advantage when compared to hub motors because you can switch the wheels. For my kind of riding, I chose to switch to the 6-inch Evolve AT wheels so that I don't have to worry about the big cracks in the road. You can change the wheels to any size or type of wheel as long as you have the correct pulleys. The battery pack that I have in this board is the 12-amp Samsung 30Q in the 10S4P configuration. The ESC that is inside the Verreal RS is the latest Hobbywing ESC. It also comes with the new OLED remote. The new OLED remote has a multifunction button that allows you to switch speed modes, go backwards and forwards, and an odometer to show your ride's current mileage and the board's overall mileage. I find that this new Hobbywing ESC is super smooth, and just like all the other Hobbywing ESCs, it's very predictable whenever you're accelerating and braking. My brother tried out this board and we compared it to the old Meepo boards that had the Lingy ESCs, and he picked up a lot quicker on the Verreal RS using the Hobbywing ESC than he did with the Lingy ESCs from Meepo. The Verreal RS has a lot of torque. When I first got on it, I almost got thrown off because I wasn't expecting such a big kick. The top speed on the stock 90mm wheels is advertised at 27 miles per hour. In my testing with the Evolve 6-inch kit, my top speed was 25 miles an hour, which is enough for my riding style since I barely reached that top speed during most of my rides. The brakes in the Verreal RS may be its weak points. I'm not sure if they used a customized version or just a regular version of the Hobbywing ESC, but I feel like the brakes could definitely be a little bit stronger. There's been times whenever I had to approach a sharp corner or I went to brake as hard as possible because someone ran in front of me, and sometimes that's just not possible. I've had a few instances where I had to run off the board because I couldn't brake fast enough without having too much speed when I'm about to turn or when someone stopped in front of me. I feel like Verreal could definitely improve on the brakes a little bit, but this is just something you can adjust to depending on where you're riding and how you're riding. This board is pretty heavy compared to most electric skateboards on the market. The board itself weighs in at 22 pounds. Most electric skateboards weigh around 17 pounds. The main reason for the extra weight is because of the massive battery pack that sits underneath the deck. I don't have to carry this board up several stairs or to several buildings whenever I'm walking, but I feel like if I did, this would not be very fun. The board is just too heavy, and at 36 inches, it's kind of difficult to carry it upstairs unless you want to keep hitting the wheels or the trucks on multiple flights of stairs. However, I'm lucky enough that I don't have to carry it and I just have to bring it to wherever I'm riding that day. This board has a single metal enclosure that houses the ESC and the battery. It also has a thick foam pad between the deck and the enclosure to increase the water resistance. However, this board, just like all other electric skateboards, is not waterproof. I do believe that some boards are better at keeping water out of the enclosures than others, and I feel that the Verreal RS can keep water out of the enclosures very well because of this one metal piece enclosure. Also, the lack of flex reduces the chances of water getting in. The Verreal RS looks very similar to the Evolve Bamboo GTR. Some people might say that they copied Evolve, but many electric skateboard companies use similar designs. This isn't generally a bad thing. This just means that Verreal is using a design that is tested and accepted within the electric skateboard community. I've measured the range in the Verreal RS with the Evolve 6-inch AT kit. For reference, I weigh about 160 pounds, and on one range test, I got 18 miles of riding before the board died. That day, there was a 10-mile-an-hour wind, so I decided to test the range again when there were no other factors at play. On the second range test, I got 20 miles before the board died. So we can just assume that the range with the Evolve 6-inch AT kit lies between 18 miles and 20 miles. So just to round this off, I bought this board before they changed the design for their second version. If you want to check out the new design for the Verreal RS, there's a link in the description that will bring you to the new design. The Verreal RS is a really good board for under $900. It has a good ESC with hobby wing that allows for predictable braking and accelerations. It provides good range, top speed, and good torque with a dual 63-68 motors and a 10S4P battery. Even with a standard battery, you'll still get great range and great torque. There is still room for improvement on this board, as I talked about earlier. The stock bushings that come with the board are pretty soft, and they can be just a little bit more stiffer. The brakes can also do a little bit more improvement when it comes to stopping power. I think that Verreal could definitely change this in their future iterations of the Verreal RS, but for now, it's just something that we're just gonna have to get used to. Overall, I think this board competes very well in the market when compared to its competition. If you're interested in purchasing this board, there's a link in the description that brings you to Verreal's website. Check you guys out later.